It's quite something, isn't it? You walk into a gold souk market in Saudi Arabia, and gold is, well, it's everywhere. Not just for wearing, but as a real, tangible way people save. Especially women, actually. It's deep-rooted.
It really is a fundamental part of the culture.
So what happens when you mix that tradition with, modern fintech? That's what this new platform, Alkanz, seems to be trying to do. We've got their business plan here.
Right, and we're going to dive into that plan today, see how they're planning to offer both digital and physical gold in the Saudi market.
Exactly. Our mission is to unpack their strategy, who they're targeting, what they're actually offering, how it works, the whole thing. Should be interesting for anyone looking at accessible investing or just, fintech in that part of the world.
Definitely. What's interesting is they seem to be thinking quite hard about the specific Saudi context, not just digitizing, but looking at culture, regulations, the whole picture.
Yeah, it seems quite layered. We'll look at their target markets, the product mechanics, this idea of tokenized gold they have planned.
Compliance too, which is huge there, obviously, and how they plan to actually reach people, marketing partnerships.
Okay, let's start with who they're aiming for. The plan lays out 4 main groups. First up, young professionals, millennials.
Right, the digital natives.
Yeah, maybe known for spending, sure, but also super comfortable with apps for managing money.
That's a key insight, isn't it? Saudi Arabia has this huge young population, very tech-savvy. Alkanz is likely banking on the ease of an app for small investments appealing to them.
A convenient way to save, maybe alongside other things.
Or maybe even instead of for some things. Then there are women investors.
Yes, the plan specifically calls out their strong cultural connection to gold. It's not just about looks.
No, absolutely not. It's a traditional store of wealth, a form of security for women in the region. Very significant.
So Alkanz is trying to tap into that existing behavior, but make it maybe easier to manage digitally.
Exactly. A modern twist on a very established practice.
Okay, third group, low to mid-income workers. And the big thing here seems to be fractional ownership.
Yeah. Letting people buy tiny amounts, like what was it, 10 cents worth?
10 US cents equivalent, yeah, or the SAR equivalent. That really lowers the barrier, doesn't it?
Hugely. It makes gold investment accessible to people who probably felt shut out before. It's democratizing access, really.
Good point. And finally, they're targeting users conscious of Islamic finance principles.
Which is critical in Saudi Arabia.
They're emphasizing the Sharia compliance, the fact it's backed by a real, tangible asset. That's got to be a major selling point.
It's a must-have, really, for a large part of the population. If it's not Sharia compliant, it's a non-starter. So Alkanz is addressing that head-on, building trust.
Okay, so we know who they're targeting.
Yeah.
How does the actual product work? Let's break down the offering. They start with digital gold.
Right, the core app experience.
You can buy in with those tiny amounts, like we said, 10 cents, tied to real-time gold prices.
And it's stored securely somewhere, presumably in a vault. The app shows your balance in grams and local currency, SAR.
Which is helpful. What seems really neat are the autosave features.
Yeah, the roundups on purchases or setting up a fixed recurring saving amount.
That could be quite powerful, couldn't it? Building up savings almost passively.
Very much so. Encouraging consistent habits without you really having to think about it every time.
And what about people who want the actual physical gold?
They've thought about that too, physical redemption.
Yeah.
Once you accumulate a full gram digitally.
Which might take a while with those small savings, but still.
Right, but once you hit that 1 gram mark, you can ask for it to be delivered. They plan to partner with local gold distributors, jewelers.
That's clever. It connects the digital convenience with that traditional desire to hold the physical asset.
It really bridges that gap. And those partnerships with known local players will be vital for credibility, making sure the delivery is smooth.
Okay, then looking further out, they mentioned tokenized gold. Phase 2, I think.
Yeah, the idea is 1 token equals 1 gram of real physical gold held securely in a licensed vault.
A direct one-to-one backing. That seems important.
Very. For transparency and, frankly, for easier compliance and audits. They specifically mention not issuing tiny microtokens for every small purchase.
Why not?
Well, the plan suggests it's to avoid high on-chain fees, the costs of recording transactions on a blockchain, and just the general complexity of managing millions of tiny token fractions.
Ah, okay. So you build up your digital balance to a full gram first.
Exactly. And then a token representing that gram can be minted or associated with your account. They even hint at future stuff like trading these tokens, maybe DeFi applications.
Interesting possibilities down the line. But first things first, Compliance. That sounds like a big hurdle.
Oh, definitely. The plan mentions registering with SAMA, the Saudi Central Bank, or maybe partnering with a licensed local firm.
And getting that Sharia compliance certification is key too.
Absolutely essential. Plus, working with reputable, licensed vaults, they name drop Brinks, Malka Amit. Secure storage is non-negotiable when you're talking about people's gold.
So how do they plan to actually get this in front of people? The go-to-market strategy, they're talking online and offline.
A blended approach, which makes sense. Online, it's about culturally relevant content.
Right, using social media platforms that are huge there. Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter. Storytelling that resonates.
And influencer marketing. Collaborating with Islamic finance educators, Saudi lifestyle influencers people already follow and trust.
Plus the basics, like App Store optimization, making sure people can find the app easily, searching in Arabic and English.
Critical groundwork. The cultural angle and local influencers seem particularly smart for building that initial connection.
Then offline. They're thinking about partnering with existing gold shops, jewelry stores.
That's really interesting. Tapping into places people already associate with gold, building on existing trust.
Yeah, maybe university campaigns for the younger crowd.
Yeah.
And even kiosks or booths in malls for demos, getting people signed up.
That physical presence, even if it's just a kiosk, can make a big difference. It makes it feel more real, less abstract than just an app, especially for those maybe less tech comfortable.
So a real mix of digital reach and physical touch points. How does the money side work? The revenue model.
Looks like a few streams. There's a spread the small difference between the buy and sell price of gold. That's pretty standard.
Okay.
Then fees for physical redemption, which covers the logistics of getting the gold to you.
Makes sense.
And longer-term potential transaction fees if and when token trading becomes a thing.
Right, on transfers or trades of those gold tokens.
Exactly. They also float the idea of subscription plans later on, maybe for premium features like advanced analysis or, interestingly, crypto conversion options.
Okay. So multiple potential revenue streams. It sounds like partnerships are woven through this whole thing.
Absolutely critical. They need vault providers, we mentioned that. Payment gateways, the plan lists, Sadat and Mata, which are essential for local online payments in Saudi.
Right, you need those integrations.
Blockchain platforms, too, if they go down the token route. Ethereum, Polygon, BNB chain are mentioned as possibilities.
Suggests they're keeping options open there.
Seems like it. And of course, local legal expertise. Fintech, crypto, gold regulations. It's a complex mix.
You really need lawyers who understand the Saudi context specifically. Okay, what about the rollout? They have a phased plan.
Yeah, it looks quite methodical. Phase 1 is the MVP, minimum viable product, just the basic digital gold app, Android and iOS, with the core vault and payment links working.
Get the basics right first.
Exactly. Phase 2 is all about user acquisition, getting people onto that basic app.
Then phase 3.
That's the beta launch of the gold token. But initially, only for internal transfers within the Alkanz platform.
Testing it out in a controlled way.
Precisely. Before the final phase, which is the full crypto rollout, integrating with external wallets, enabling trading, maybe introducing loyalty tokens.
It sounds sensible. Build, test, learn, expand, not trying to boil the ocean on day one.
A much more prudent approach, especially with something like tokenization involved.
And they're clearly thinking hard about localization, making it feel right for the Saudi market.
Definitely. Using terms like halal investment, an Arabic-first interface.
Simple financial language, not jargon.
Right. And even considering Quranic references, used appropriately and respectfully, of course, that shows a real sensitivity to the local culture.
It feels authentic. They also talk about collaborating with established Islamic banks. Al-Raji and CB are named.
And local mobile wallets like STC Pay, which is huge there.
What's the angle there? Co-marketing, easier transfers.
All of the above, probably. Co-promotions, seamless funding, but also leveraging the trust people already have in those established banks and wallets. It's a powerful association.
Right, piggybacking on existing trust. And to get people using it and sticking around, they mentioned incentives.
Yeah, referral bonuses paid in actual gold grams, which is neat.
Kind of reinforces the product itself.
Exactly. And gamification, a gold streak feature, with micro rewards for saving consistently. Plus a tiered loyalty system, maybe offering perks like lower redemption fees for loyal users.
It sounds like standard growth tactics, but tailored to the gold theme. What about building understanding, especially around digital gold or tokens?
Education seems key. They plan a Golden Wealth Awareness series in Arabic.
On popular platforms people already use?
Seems so. Webinars with experts, too. And even partnering with university incubators for micro-investing challenges, which could be great for engaging students,
So building community and knowledge, not just pushing a product.
which helps build that crucial trust, especially with newer concepts.
They even loop back to the physical side with an offline activation idea, a retail presence.
Yeah, potentially in traditional gold markets, the souk al-dahab, offering things like signing up in person, maybe instant gold cards, handling redemptions there.
Wow, that would be quite a statement. A real physical anchor.
It could be very reassuring for some users, that tangible connection point in a familiar place, blending old and new.
And customer support.
Planned to be 2047 in Arabic, displaying live gold prices, digital ownership certificates in the app for transparency.
And insurance on the stored gold.
Mentioned as well, all measures designed to give users peace of mind, which is vital when you're handling their savings.
Okay, last couple of points. Regulatory engagement and data.
Right, they plan to actively engage with regulators, mentioning applying to SAMA's FinTech Sandbox.
Debt-controlled testing environment.
Yeah, a good way to work with the regulator. And hiring or partnering with local compliance experts, plus using analytics.
AI and machine learning. For what?
Personalized saving recommendations, apparently. And generally using customer surveys, A/B testing, that sort of thing, to keep improving the platform based on feedback.
A continuous feedback loop. Sounds like a solid plan.
It's comprehensive, certainly.
So, pulling it all together, what are the big takeaways from this deep dive into Alkanz' strategy? It really feels like they're trying to build a smart bridge, doesn't it?
It does. A bridge between that deep cultural affinity for gold in Saudi Arabia and the ease and accessibility of modern digital finance.
They're not just throwing an app out there. It seems very considered the cultural nuances, the regulatory awareness, the different user needs.
Absolutely. I think the blend is what stands out. Digital convenience, yes, but rooted in respect for tradition and the tangible value of gold, making it accessible through fractional buys, the user-friendly approach, the Sharia compliance. It feels tailored.
Yeah, uniquely positioned for that market,
It
perhaps.
seems that way.
Which leaves us with a final thought for you, the listener. What does this kind of model, a digital platform, backed by a physical, traditional asset like gold, mean for other emerging economies?
Right. Could this be a blueprint, maybe? A way technology adapts to and even enhances long-held financial habits and cultural preferences elsewhere in the world.
How might technology and tradition blend in other contexts? Definitely something interesting to ponder.